Last time, I showed you guys how to beat Pokemon Red and Blue with a single Ghastly at level 5. And that one was pretty good, but it took about an hour and a half. We weren't using any direct attacking moves. We were just using Bite, Confuse Ray, Toxic, but it worked. We are champions, folks. Pokemon Red and Blue is so broken that we can do this with the level 5 Ghastly. But I asked you guys after that, what do you think is the best Pokemon for Pokemon Yellow version? Well, I feel like the teacher who just caught all the kids sleeping in class, because I told you guys that Ghastly can't do it, and yet Ghastly got 58% of the vote. Here's why Ghastly fails. The Rivals team, the Champions team, has been redone in Pokemon Yellow, and he will always use Earthquake, a 100% accurate move, which means the only way to get through with the Ghastly would be to get a Gen 1 miss, then set up all our double teams. It's not going to happen. There's only one chink in that Sandslash's armor, and that is the 80% accuracy of Fury Swipes. So what's the best Pokemon, at least for the champion? Zubat, funny enough. It's immune to Earthquake, and it resists Poison Sting, meaning that it has a 50% chance that Sandslash will use Fury Swipes, which also has a 1 in 5 chance of missing. The problem for Zubat is Lorelei. Now, it's not impossible to get through Lorelei, but we don't have confusion moves. Zubat does not learn Supersonic at level 5 in Gen 1. So we have to get lucky to have Toxic get us through this fight, which, while not impossible, it takes a lot of time, and if it uses Rest, it's gonna just heal up the Toxic and we're back to square one. We finally do get through, but in this one I get taken out very promptly by the Cloyster. So let's try this in Pokemon Yellow, but it's not going to be Zubat and it's not going to be Ghastly. We need to finish in under 2 hours. We can save between Elite Four members, but in this one we're only going to use one cartridge. So no repeating one-time only TMs. And we have no XP in battle using the Game Shark code listed, and we're going to assume that we can catch any Pokemon in Pokemon Yellow at level 5. We can use the Ditto glitch to get literally any Pokemon at this level. So you might be thinking, okay, Ghastly's out, Zubat's out. What is the best kind of Pokemon to use in this challenge? Well, folks, there are a set of Pokemon that share a similar move and are immune, or at least not susceptible, to Earthquake. Who are they? Well, here's a cast of maybe some of the most popular Pokemon in Gen 1. We have Charizard, Dragonite, Aerodactyl, Gyarados, and Lapras. These Pokemon all work because they can learn Dragon Rage. Dragon Rage is going to be the key to this run. So for today, we're going to go with the Gyarados because it, as a flying type Pokemon, is immune to Earthquake, plus it's going to be a little bit better against Lorelei. Let's check this out. So here, getting into the fight, I am not going to cut any of the footage this time. We're just going to speed up the parts that are not successful or not interesting. But basically the strategy all comes down to this. We're trying to get our setup double team on this first Dugong, and then we're trying to use Dragon Rage in order to take it down. Now, it's not perfectly consistent because we'll get Lorelei regularly into the range to use Super Potions. That's actually why you can't just rely on Dragon Rage here. All of the Elite Four members have 5 Pokemon. Dragon Rage does only 40 set damage, and because they use healing items, if you just relied on Dragon Rage for every single fight, you would never get through. So how are we going to remedy that? Well, it's going to take a few attempts to get it set up properly, but once we do, we're going to see that there is a way to make this consistent. Even without healing, a lot of these Pokemon are 5-hit KOs, so even with 3 PP ups, having 16 PP, we're just never going to get through that. So we're going to have to grind a little bit until we can see the setup. So you can see we're just grinding over and over and over again. We get pretty deep into Lorelei's team that time before we get taken out by Jinx. But we're starting to see that this is going to be possible. So it's just a matter of How many attempts does it take? How long does it take? The timer is running in real time. Just keep that in mind. Now here's how we have to do it. We have to start off by setting up a couple of double teams, then get our substitute up, and then finish our double team, and hopefully we can get through all that without getting hurt too much. Then we are using a combination of Toxic and Dragon Rage to get through. Now for the other Pokemon, we really need to remember that Dragon Rage is not going to be enough to beat them all outright. So we have a very simple strategy here. You can beat the game with Toxic and Dragon Rage as long as you know how to count to 5. You use Toxic first, count the turns. On the 5th turn, use Dragon Rage. The reason is because on the 5th turn, the opponent will always be in a range to be KO'd by Dragon Rage. Here, we do that and we take out Lorelei. Done and done. Now, let's move on to Bruno. Bruno is not really too difficult. We get pretty deep right away on his team. It's really just a matter of does he hit us with Rock Slide or some other super effective move. So here, we're just gonna go in, start by setting up some double teams. He digs, which is perfectly fine because dig can't affect a flying Pokemon. Now we use a substitute, and it's time to use Toxic. And I'm just gonna speed this fight up by using some Dragon Rages. He can dig as much as he wants, we don't care. He's going down. Here against the Hitmonchan, we're going to set up Toxic. We take a hit, but that's fine. We're just gonna set up another substitute, and then we're going to go ahead and stall him out because he can't really do that much to us. Next, it's time to get Toxic on Hitmonlee, and again, we're gonna stall it out, and Bruno is the easiest one because he won't heal up here. He doesn't use any healing items, unlike the other Elite Four members. Here, Onix, we can go straight into poisoning it, and at this point, I'm figuring, you know what, let's just use Dragon Rage to speed this up. Perfect. And against the final Machamp, Toxic, and we're just gonna spam Dragon Rage to finish it as quickly as possible. There we go. We are through 2 of the Elite Four members in record time. Now, Agatha is going to be a little interesting because we're going to have to get another way to do damage, but Toxic doesn't work here. So how do we do extra damage? Mimic. We mimic Confuse Ray from her Pokemon, from her first Gengar. And then after we have Confuse Ray, we can use Confusion damage to help us get the ranges that we need in order to take them down with Dragon Rage. Here, it's not going to be easy. It takes a ton of attempts. I messed around with my movesets just a little bit, but I ended up deciding not to use Substitute here. I want to keep Toxic on my moveset so that we can do this as a true 1 cartridge single playthrough run. We get all the way to the end on that one, but we failed. That's okay. We can see the luck is coming in. Last time it took 1 hour and 7 minutes of real time to beat Agatha. How long is this one gonna take? Let's see how many more attempts we have. The biggest struggle here is really the first Gengar. In this one, Golbat doesn't have Haze, so we can set up everything on the first Gengar. It's just a matter of getting through that one, really, and then not taking the lucky hits as we go through. Because we don't have Substitute, even 1 hit takes us down. So here we are against the Gengar. We're going to start by setting up a double team. It uses Substitute and Confuse Ray. That's perfectly fine. As long as we don't hit ourselves a bunch of times in Confusion, we'll be good. Now here, we are going to mimic Confuse Ray. And after we confuse it, we can now use a combination of Dragon Rage and Confuse Ray to take it down. Here, Golbat is actually exactly 4 Dragon Rages to take down, but we can get better by having it be confused. Wait, oh my god, folks, did you just see what I just saw? We just survived a Leech Life from a level 56 Golbat. Bug moves completely broken. Anyway, back to the action. So here against the Haunter, we are setting up Confuse Ray and Dragon Rage. We are going to absolutely wreck this one, and She uses Super Potion when she gets to low health. We're hoping to not have that happen too much. Here, we go ahead and confuse the Arbok. She switches to Gengar. That's perfectly fine. We're just going to use Confusion and Dragon Rage. We don't want to take too many hits here, hopefully. And she swaps back and forth, which does mess with our Confusion strat a little bit. But we're just trying to get them down into the range where we can one-shot them at the end with Dragon Rage. There we are on Arbok. Okay, we got it down. Now, Gengar, we're running low on Dragon Rage and Confuse Ray. Can we get it into the range? Come on. Dragon Rage, there we go. We've taken down Agatha. And look at this, folks. We are way ahead of where we were with Ghastly. And now on Lance, we actually have an advantage. You see, the Gyarados knows Leer, and it would never use Leer on Ghastly because it's a normal type move and Lance has smart AI. But here, because we're a water type, it's going to want to use Hyper Beam, Leer, or Dragon Rage. And that 1 in 3 chance of it using Leer is all that we need to get set up here. Once we get the setup off, we're going to go into our Toxic and Dragon Rage strat. But we have to be very careful. Lance has Hyper Potions, and he has an Aerodactyl that knows Swift. So if we take 2 Swifts in a row from that Aerodactyl, we are done, no matter what we do. That's only a 1 in 16 chance though. So let's see if we can get this one going here. It just takes tons of attempts. Even with that 1 in 3 chance of not being hit by the Gyarados, this is not a super consistent run in Pokemon Yellow because everything will attack us. Compare that to Red and Blue, where Ghastly didn't have to worry about anything after the Gyarados, and you can see why this is going to be a less consistent run for basically any Pokemon in Pokemon Yellow version. And you might be saying, well, why not just take Ghastly here? I mean, Ghastly would crush, right? Well, no. Lance's Dragonair and his Dragonite no longer know psychic moves. And unlike in Red and Blue, where all of Aerodactyl's moves were normal type, no, here it uses Fly and Wing Attack. And it has moves like Swift to take down Double Team users. So while Ghastly is still possible at this point, it's gonna have a much tougher time. So here in this fight, we are finally getting the setup. We've got our substitute up, and we've gotten Toxic off on the Gyarados. Now we do want to take these down as quickly as possible. We take a Dragon Rage, that's just fine. Here, Gyarados goes down to Toxic damage. Perfect. Now on the Dragonair, we are going to set up Toxic, and we are using the rule of count to 5. On the 5th turn here, there we go. Dragon Rage, we will take it out. He will never heal, because he's in yellow health at the beginning of the turn. The Elite Four always use their items retroactively. So here we take out the second Dragonair as well. Now Aerodactyl flies, but it misses. Perfect. It flies, but it's poisoned. That's perfectly fine. That's just an extra turn of it taking damage, and we take it down. Now Dragonite. We just need to not get KO'd here. We poison it, and we are using Dragon Rage. There it goes. We have beaten 4 Elite Four members, and we've done this part in less than an hour. We're sitting at 40 minutes, folks. So are we gonna get a sub 1 hour time here? Well, it really comes down to the Sandslash. Sandslash has 3 moves it will use against us: Poison Sting, Slash, and Fury Swipes. As we discussed before, only Fury Swipes has a chance to miss us that is greater than a Gen 1 miss. A 1 in 256 chance that any move will miss. So basically think about it. When we talk about a Gen 1 miss, that's a 0.4% chance of taking a miss. Whereas a 1 in 5 chance of Fury Swipes missing us, even though it's 1 in 3 chance to get Fury Swipes, that's still a 1 in 15 chance. We're talking about around a 6.6% chance of not getting hit. So we're way above the odds of a Gen 1 miss here. So we just need to get the luck in order to get that miss turn 1. And once we do, and we get our double team set up, we're going to have a chance here. So, in this one, we finally come back. Here we are. We have gotten the luck in order to get the miss. We are setting up double team. We have substitute up. Now, can we get everything set up? We take a hit. That's okay. Now, Toxic, and we're going to use Dragon Rage. We want to get through this one as quick as possible because Sandslash is only going to attack us. Now, against Alakazam, we take a Psychic, okay? We have to use a substitute, and we can't use substitute anymore because at 6 HP, a substitute will actually KO us if we use it because we'll use up all of our remaining HP. That's okay. We've got it poisoned. We're using Dragon Rage. There we go. Now, we need to not take Leech Seed here. If we are hit by Leech Seed, that is basically game over because it takes too many turns to get through the rest of the team. But we get through Exeggutor, perfect. Now, Ninetales can't do that much to us. It's basically going to use Quick Attack and Confuse Ray. We're just counting to 5. There we go. Dragon Rage, done. Now, Magneton. It will use Thunderbolt and Thunder Wave here. We just need to avoid getting hit, but we take a paralysis from Thunder Wave. Even with a substitute, that's okay. We're all the way to the last Vaporeon, but we're running low on PP. If he uses a Hyper Potion, that's probably the end of the run right there. We're going to use our last 2 Dragon Rages, and hopefully we can get through this one. He's on low health. He doesn't use a full restore, and we get through. Oh my god. So, there we go, folks. We have beaten the Elite Four in less than 1 hour with a level 5 Gyarados. We have beaten our previous time by over 30 minutes. This is ridiculous. Oh my god. So, there you have it, folks. Pokemon Red and Blue or Pokemon Yellow. It is impossible to beat the Elite Four with a single level 5 Pokemon. We finished this one with no PP remaining, but it was just enough to be able to get through. So, I hope you enjoyed this one. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Later.